What's up YouTube? I am back here for another video. As you can see, we're outside, beautiful day in Toronto, and I wanted to come on here and share essentially something that was going over with my coach, and a coach that is helping me unlock different growth in my life that I didn't know I needed. And essentially one thing I realized that I was doing was latching onto things or chasing things for a feeling, that feeling that you think you don't have currently. So you think, if I get this thing, or this, I get this relationship, or I accomplish this goal or this desire, then I can finally be, that person I've always wanted to be, or feel like that person I've always wanted to be. And that essentially is the devil. As you can see, the channel, I realize, is going a bit more into the spiritual realm. That's because I realized that in order to help everybody, I mentioned this in another video, I have to be able to share and be authentic and, share anything that I'm going through, because that's the only way I can enter the vessel in order for more to come in. If I'm withholding things from myself, from you guys, that I'm going through, the vessel, you can say the cup is still full. The cup, God gave me these issues or these problems or things I'm going through. Everyone gave everyone these things so you can share them and so people can get value from it. It's not just inventing something or just like, oh, the 5 steps to this or the 10 steps to this. That helps people, sure, but what actually helps people more, I realize, is them being able to relate to the person that is speaking to them, because they're also human. No one is this like transactional being where they just see something and they're like, oh, 5 steps, cool. Let me talk to this guy. That's what I need. No, they want to know that you have maybe a similar story to them, face the same things as them, and are able to be authentic and share and be honest. And that's the reason why I'm got into this whole sharing, as opposed to looking for the next thing, the value thing to share or whatever it may be. But essentially going back to the point, I'm not sure if you guys hear change in the back or the plane. I'm going to get a mic pretty soon. Just right now, I had to change location for a bit, so I am currently not at home. But anyways, the point is, a few months ago, if you go back to my video in Mexico, I was chasing a relationship with someone because I thought that's what I needed at that time. So I met somebody. This was March. Right now we're in May, and I went to go see them in April last month. And yeah, chasing because I thought, oh, if I have this person, then things are gonna get better, and I'll be able to feel something that I wasn't feeling before. And what I realized is this is something I was doing before when I joined a mentorship with Yados, who is also a mentor. And he teaches, what I love is to remove before adding. Society teaches you to remove. Society teaches you to add before removing. They say, oh, add this method, add this trick or tip or way to do something. It's actually about removing, and I didn't realize that for the longest time. But this whole program is removing bad habits, bad circles you're in, bad thoughts, fear, and these are the things that actually propel you forward. Think of it like someone on a ship, right? Depends on your situation. You could be in a sinking ship. You could be in a ship that's just in the ocean. You could be in a ship that's going somewhere. But essentially, what's going to help the ship move faster towards their goal, if they have one, if they should have one, is taking cargo off the ship. When the ship is sinking, people were throwing things off the ship in order to give the chance to stay afloat. And the same thing with your life in general. So I'm going a bit off tangent here, but essentially when you start to remove, you start to realize that the feeling actually arises within you, and it's not something you have to chase internally. This is something I did for years, like I mentioned. Happened again recently because I started to add things back into my life, and I thought that was a way, that society teaches you. It's about removing the programming society gives you, and that's all society tells you is add this, you need this product, you need this person, you need this relationship, you need this trip, you need this car, you need this lifestyle, you need this pair of shoes, you need these clothes. So there's so many different things that society tells you to add, but once you remove, that's when everything actually begins to flourish. You start to realize that it also starts from within in order for you to attract anything. And it's about attracting, it's not chasing. But the point is, if you're watching right now and you feel like you're chasing, you're envisioning something and you're thinking, oh, if I get that thing, I can finally be happy. And that's how most people live. They're in this basically not losing battle, but they're in a state of loss until they get to their goal, and then they can finally, feel the dopamine and feel the sensation they've always wanted to. But it's, like they say, it's the age-old cliche of the journey is, enjoy the journey, trust the process. And that's what I'm realizing is it has to be within you first in order for you to attract it. It's not something you chase and then get, because, what I learned on that trip that I mentioned is I was coming from a place of lack and thinking that if I get this relationship with this person or get a connection with this person, then I can finally get abundance from outwards and bring it in. And yeah, it's the opposite. It has to come from within. Everything is, like I said, attractive. Okay, I'm gonna cut that part out. Camera head falling because of the wind. Apologize for the sound as well. Like I said, the mic is coming, so if you guys hear nature, it's because we're in nature. So you have to deal with this for this video. But yeah, to the point is, removing is going to allow you to see that you're chasing a lot of things, and then from there you can start to attract and lose this lie or this myth that everything you need is outwards, and once you get it, you can finally feel that. And yeah, it's something that I'm telling you guys because I'm currently going through it. I'm currently realizing that I have a lot of things to work on in terms of learning to attract. I've been chasing my whole life. There's another video you can see my story of how essentially I, basically got into my situation with psoriasis, and it led me into another situation with women and relationships. But essentially, I realized I was chasing something that I lost, or I've not allowed another person to take. And that, at that point, was my essence, my aura. And yeah, I thought that getting it from somewhere else, or maybe if other people had it and I can just connect with them, I can get it back. And I was totally wrong, and it just leads to anything you're doing that signals that you have to chase is the devil, that leads to darkness always. And I just realized that, like I said, whatever you're going through has to be attracted. And like I said, first thing to do when you see yourself chasing is remove that situation. So it could be chasing, like a relationship. Maybe right now you're on dating apps, you're messaging people. This is for men on Instagram or wherever you're looking to get relationships. Maybe right now you're going out excessively, you're partying, you're thinking, oh, okay, if I go down enough, I can approach enough women and then meet the one. That's chasing. That's you not having faith that you can actually attract that person. Working on yourself, becoming that man first, and then allowing everything as a byproduct to come towards you. That's one example. It could be money. Like, I have to make this amount of money, so I can live this life. And you're chasing, and you're like, you're changing everything in your life. You're maybe, putting your health aside to chase money, and like, oh, this business has to work. And you start like taking all these risks and stuff like that, and it's chasing. It's the devil. And to apply to anything else, like when you see yourself pursuing something, think, would my highest self be doing this? This could be a little deep, but think, if you believe in God, has Jesus ever chased anything? That's one thing I was thinking about today. And, if you think about it, you never see Jesus chasing after something, or chasing after maybe someone's approval, or a feeling he wants to have, or something that he needs. Like there's no desire, because desire is the devil. And thanks to my coach for explaining that, because it's all programmed into you, like society goals. You need the job and the girlfriend or the boyfriend. You need everything, and that's control. They're trying to get you to control, so you're overthinking, and that's overthinking is the devil. So, just wanted to give you guys a quick reflection on something that I feel like can help a lot of people in the society, especially in the Western society. Now, I'm in Canada. Western society is rat race, chasing. Where's the next thing? Where's the next thing I can flex on Instagram so people can see that I have, I am something that I'm not, or maybe you are that thing. There's very few people that are actually the thing before they get it, but very few people need to get the thing before they are that thing. it's a crazy line just throw it there because it just goes back to, you have to be the thing first in order to attract it, or you chase it and you never actually feel like you deserve that thing. So that happens a lot in society. It could be with money. You see all these celebrities basically see all these celebrities chasing success, and then they get it fast, maybe at a young age, and then everything falls off because they don't have their personal development. They don't feel like they're worthy of it, and everything comes so fast. And your level of success always has to match your level of self-development. That's why there's people that can have money and they're rich, but they're fat and their habits are down here. It's going to catch up to you. Start going into things like vices, overdrinking, drugs, lust, gambling, whatever it is, because they don't feel worthy of it. So you have to feel worthy first before you get there, or you can do the opposite of chase and be the devil, or work for the devil, and then realize that you just enter darkness because it's a lie. That's your ego, and it's not truly who you are. So yeah, just quick reflection to throw at you guys on a nice sunny day here in Toronto. If you guys do want to connect with me, you guys have me on Instagram. Like I said, my focus right now is just sharing anything that I feel I can help you guys. I still, follow my daily routine in terms of skin, helping people with that do reach out. So, being able to live drug-free, being able to first adjust a bunch of variables that you're not paying attention to, and then obviously changing the food, because that is where everything starts. All disease begins in the guts, I believe. Plato said that, or one of those philosophers. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely something you can apply at any point. You always, at every level is new devil, so you'll always be chasing it if you don't realize it. And like I said, everything in society is pretty much the devil trying to, grab you in terms of getting you to control or have desires, have goals, and not having faith. Because if you have faith, you're at peace. Another thing my coach told me, I'm going to shout him out, Mike. If you don't have peace, if you have peace, the devil's going to try to remove that thing. That's his whole goal, to remove peace from you. Peace is the goal. It's not happiness. You're not a child, walking into an amusement park with cotton candy in your hand and jumping. That's not a sustainable goal that can only last for a couple minutes, maybe a half an hour, maybe an hour. But if you're like a sane person, that's not going to last. That's not a goal. It's not a worthy goal. Your goal is peace, being able to live, gratefully wherever you are, whatever position you're in. Just be like, just peace. That's the whole thing. So, anyways, long ending, but we a lot of information on where to find me. Hope this video helped you. And yeah, in the meantime, keep killing it.